Hello. I recently got to play Wild Assault. It is a game that just came out for alpha testing for a little bit. I recently got a chance to play some of it. I played for about a little over 7 hours, and I have quite a few things to say about it. And I figured, being a furry, that it was my legal obligation to talk about this game. And that's because this game is basically a furry hero shooter that is very similar to Battlefield. So in the game, there's different hero characters to choose from. They all have different abilities, weapons, etc., etc. It's 20v20 so far. One map, one game mode, and that's about it. There's 3 points on the map you can capture. Basically, if you've played Battlefield Conquest mode, you know how it works. The difference being is that there's not really like classes like there are in Battlefield. There's characters, there's hero characters, right? I've played this game for a little over 7 hours. A little over 4 of those were live streamed on Twitch, and then some other hours were live streamed on Fansly. But here are my thoughts on the game. I think the map design itself was fine, like how it played, it was mostly okay. I saw some people mention that they got like spawn trapped depending on which side like which team they were on. I didn't personally experience this myself, I don't think, but I've seen enough people talk about it to where it's probably an issue. I didn't dislike the map, at least. My problem though is that the map, how the map looks, feels like aesthetically it's pretty bland, not really interesting to me. It's just brown desert. I don't know. Maybe the other maps they have planned for this game will be more interesting, better. But we only have one map to go off right now, so that's what I'm judging. But yeah, it's just boring, plain desert. Not really anything that stood out to me about the map, aside from maybe there's like a area with like bones. It kind of reminded me of Skull Town in Apex Legends, but that's a bit of a stretch because it's bones. They should try to make the maps a little more interesting in the future, because again, this is very very forgettable map. It plays fine, but just looking at it, there's nothing special about it. The character designs are pretty. They're interesting. They're interesting, at least. It's kind of hard to get a feel for their personalities. Like, they all kind of just feel the same in terms of personality, except for maybe the bunny girl. She feels like the only one that has any kind of personality. And that's just through her animations, really. Like, she has one animation where you can use her ultimate, which is basically just like a AoE heal res kind of thing, and she does like a special run animation when you use that. Everyone else, again, it feels just basically like, oh, I'm a hard operator guy. I think if they had voice lines, that would help a lot. There's no voice lines at the moment. I don't know if they plan to add those. They probably do, but they don't have them right now. So at the time of the test, there's only 6 characters, and I'm gonna kind of list them now. There's Norman. He is basically just a pretty good 1v1er kind of character. He's got a self-heal, adrenaline type move. He's got a move that basically like stuns you a little bit, or like disorients you. It's called Intimidation. It doesn't really explain too much of what it actually does in the game. It just says enemies within a certain range get intimidated. Like, that, what does that mean? From what I've experienced, just basically just like disorients you, kind of makes you stop shooting for a few seconds. It's not quite like a flashbang, but it's similar in effect, I guess. And then his ultimate is just a basically one-hit kill move, but you have to be in melee range, of course, so there's risk in that. But I didn't play him too much. I didn't really vibe with him a whole lot, but I saw plenty of people play him, so I think he's a solid character, I think. You got Ryan, this bull. I think he's probably the worst character. His kit doesn't. There's some things that don't really make too much sense about him. So he's got this auto shotgun, which is okay. It does pretty decent damage. But again, you have to be pretty up close to people because it's a shotgun. And in a game like this, there's a lot of mid to long range fights. There's not too many short range fights where he can really excel at. Except maybe in a couple of the capture points, there's some areas where he can be pretty good. He's got a move where he'll basically charge at you. If you hit someone with it, you knock them down, and then you just finish them off with a shotgun, right? But again, this is a Battlefield type game, so most people are going to be bunched up together. So there's not going to be too many opportunities where you get to really use this, unless you like end up catching somebody out, which admittedly did happen a couple times when I played him, but I was usually quickly taken down when I use this. His other move is a smoke grenade, but this was pretty much useless. There was no point to using it. I don't know about the higher level graphics settings, but on the low graphics settings, it's basically useless. You can just see right through it. There's no point to using this. And it takes so long to like wind up too. Like there's a wind up time for it. I feel like it doesn't really fit his character either, because it's just like this guy seems to be, to me, it seems like he's supposed to be like a rushdown kind of character. And maybe you could argue the smoke grenade, oh, you're making it so like he can't, or you can't see him. But smoke grenades work both ways. So like, you can't see who you're trying to kill either, even if you were trying to use it right. This map, at least, the map that they have, there's so many open spaces where it didn't make sense to use it. I think he should have a flashbang instead. I feel like that would fit his character better. He'd be able to like stun or like flashbang a group of people and then actually do something with that. Or at the very least, if they intend to stick with a smoke grenade, it should be 1, bigger, 2, actually unable to see through, and 3, maybe have some other kind of effect, because I feel like it's not too useful with this kit at the moment. And then his ultimate is just a riot shield. I didn't really get to use it too much, but you get the riot shield and you get like a sawed-off shotgun. Again, I didn't personally get to play it too much, and when I did get to try it, I kind of died immediately, so I didn't really get a good chance to try it out. So yeah, I think he's the worst character in the game. And I think that's mostly because of the map we were playing, the smoke grenade not being too useful, and he's a big guy. He has more health, but even then it still would die pretty frequently. And then there's Jack. He is basically a sniper wolf. He is a top tier character, in my opinion. His sniper can do quite a bit of damage, even body shots. You can basically just make anyone one shot with it. And then it's a one-hit kill if you get a headshot, of course. He's got an ability that lets you basically get wall hacks and you can mark enemies for your team. Is way too good. And it lasts for quite a while too. And then his other ability, he gets a little bomb that like can explode through like cover. So like if you're behind a wall and he hits the wall with it, you're dead. Basically, it does a lot of damage. Let me just gas you up. Oh no! I saw that. Ah, man. And then his ult is just basically an airstrike, which I feel like doesn't necessarily fit his character, but it's not that good because you can pretty easily just run away from it before it starts. It's good at area denial at least, so there's that. Top tier character, especially in the right hands, Marquez. Ooh, baby. She is also top tier. I played a lot of her in my time playing the game. Very fun to play. Her weapon is basically a silenced DMR type gun. At distances, it doesn't do that much damage. You have to hit people quite a bit with it to get a kill. But the recoil is not too bad. If you just pull your mouse down a little bit, then you're good. All of her abilities deal with gas. she's a stinker. I can easily see fart fetishists making art of her. So yeah, she's got like a gas trap, like a gas mine, where if you walk over it, you take some damage from that. She's got a gas bomb. She can shoot out and gas dissipates in an area, and that deals damage over time and slows people down. Pretty good area denial there. Then her ult is kind of nuts. It's just a big gas bomb. Really good damage, especially if people just stand in it, which in my playthrough, a lot of people did. So I got quite a bit of damage and kills with that. So yeah, this character to me is just meant to be annoying as possible. 3 abilities that deal damage over time. A lot of area denial. I think she probably deserves a nerf. I'm not sure where or how, but she is pretty oppressive in the right hands, especially, again, if there's more than one on your team, which there's gonna be in a game where there's 20 players per team and there's like only so many characters to pick from. And then we have Vladimir. I didn't play too much of him either. He's okay, seemingly. He seems pretty balanced, I think. He's got an LMG. He's got a move that puts down a shield, a little barrier. Not too good. It's very small. It can really only provide cover for like one person, realistically. It's kind of hard to actually use correctly, especially because it feels like only one person can really fit behind it. like especially him, like if it's just him, only he can really fit behind it. I feel like it does provide ammo though, which can be pretty useful, especially during like long skirmishes. But I think it could be better, personally. Sometimes putting it down, it can get a little janky with the geometry. Like you'll put it down and it'll be like at a weird angle. I think the shield should be a little bigger. He's got a skill where you throw a fucking barrel at people, and then on impact it makes like an incendiary effect. This thing is pretty good. It was so funny seeing just a barrel fly through the fucking sky. Sometimes just from downtown. I'm not sure about the damage potential. Again, I didn't play too much of it and I didn't really get hit by it too often. How good it actually is, I'm not too sure, but it is at least funny to watch. And then his ultimate is you get a big old Gatling gun. I got to use this. It's pretty good, I think. It's like 1 to 2 hit kills, and it's explosive damage, so it deals damage in the area as well. And it leaves behind a sort of incendiary effect as well, kind of similar to the barrels, but much shorter duration. I think he's at a solid spot for the most part. I think again his barrier should be a little better, but aside from that, I think he's at a good spot, I think. And finally we have Hong Ying. I think that's how you say it, Hong Ying. She is the medic so far that we have. Bunny girl. She's got a publisher. She is also a top tier character, I think, just for her heals, because her gun is not the greatest. She can really only fight effectively in close range, which as a medic you don't really want to be. you just want to be sticking with your team. If she's in a 1v1 scenario, she's gonna lose most of the time, unless you can, you know, control that recoil, which is kind of nuts on this gun. She's got a healing ability. It heals in a circle radius. She's got like a roll move, which personally I think kind of sucks. It doesn't go too far. You still can take damage while you're rolling, and the cooldown is pretty long. I think at least the cooldown should be shorter. Her ultimate is just another AoE heal, but it can also revive players. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, when you get killed, you are down for a short period of time, and you can only be revived by either people within your squad, similar to like Battlefield. You have individual squads on your team, so you can only get healed by your other squad members or from other Hong Yings. So it's kind of important to have a couple on your team. I think Hong Ying, Marquez, and Jack are top tier, like S tier. Norman is like A tier. Vladimir's B tier. Ryan is total shit tier. Next thing, the music. There's literally only like 2 songs in the whole game. First one is the main menu, and then there's another song that plays like before the match ends. Pretty forgettable. The main menu music is just a pretty short loop. It's okay. It's there. Nothing really special or good. I mean, I guess it's not really the focus of the game, but you know, having good music, even in a game that's like this, can help. Like, everyone knows the Battlefield theme, you know. I'm kind of worried about this game being able to keep people's interest for the long run. I think people like me are initially interested in this game because all the characters are furries, right? And it's like, whoa, all the characters are furries. Outside of that, the rest of the game, it's kind of bland. Like, it's already been done before, it feels like. The gunplay isn't too interesting. It's just, it's shooting, and then you pull down the mouse a little bit. Each of the characters, they're fun, but they're a little restrictive because you get one gun and then you have your 3 moves, and everyone had the same sidearm. I mean, for some of the characters it made sense, like the sniper, bro. Some of the characters it made sense for them to have just regular pistol, but then there's some characters where I feel like they could have something else. I think in the future they should give at least one other option for weapons, both for the primary and secondary, just so we can kind of fine-tune how we want to play the character a little more. It's kind of hard to talk about the character balance and weapon balance at the moment because not all the characters are out. There's only one map. There's only so much I can speculate and say, but again, I am kind of worried about how they're going to keep interest in the long run. The only interesting thing about it is the furry character gimmick, and like the little extra sprint thing where you go on all 4s. That's all it's really got. in terms of unique things about it. I was already kind of getting bored of the game after like 6 hours or so. I mean, it kind of makes sense. There's only one map. There's only so many characters. There's only one mode. It was bound to get boring pretty quickly. But we'll kind of have to wait and see, though. You know, maybe they'll come up with more unique modes or other maps, other characters. I think they should try to ensure that there's enough unique content for the game to be sustainable. And as far as I'm aware, there's no mention of how they're going to monetize the game. Like, I don't know if they're going to make it free to play with cosmetics, or if there's going to be an upfront charge. No idea. I'm going to assume there's going to be an upfront charge, and then there's going to be skins you can buy later on. It's also apparently have some cheaters already in it, which is not a good sign. I don't think I personally experienced any cheaters in my games, but I saw other people talking about it. Again, it could just be skill issue, but I did see some weird things going on. Like at one point I saw just someone just running into a wall forever. So I don't know if that was like a bot. I've also seen some instances where the player was running and then I started shooting at them and then they just stopped dead in their tracks, like not even shooting back. So a little weird. Could potentially just be a dumb person. I don't know. Botting, cheating, usual issues that are plaguing shooter games now. Still an issue here. I am cautiously optimistic about the game, I'll say. The devs describe themselves as being like a small, somewhat small, and like dedicated team. This is seemingly their first game. I am interested in where this goes, because this is like, I think furries have been looking for a game like this for a long time. You know, just a game that's actually a game that has furry characters and not just like a visual novel. So I think that's why so many people have flocked to this game. It's like all furries, is because it's a game that has furry characters in it. That's a shooter. I even mentioned this myself in like my last video, where I wanted a game that's a shooter where you can have a furry character. So like people have been wanting this for a while. They've been accepting like suggestions and critiques and stuff on their Discord. And they have someone actually like looking at them, responding to them, and mentioning that they're going to bring us up to the dev team. So again, cautiously optimistic. I am kind of worried that people are going to suggest things that kind of suck and they're going to take that. I don't know. I think overall I enjoyed my time with it, with some more tweaks, more maps, characters, modes, optimization. They really got to fix the optimization, because my god, there's a lot of frame drops. Even off stream, I was getting a lot of frame drops. I think if they tighten up that stuff, maybe make the maps a little more interesting theme-wise, give the characters voice lines, maybe they have skins, maybe make each character a little more distinct personality-wise than just, ooh, I'm a tough guy, then maybe this could work. Yeah, that's what I think about the game so far. If you've played it, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye. I love you. Hope to see you again. Bye bye. Ooh.